Hello and welcome. Kamoye Benjamin here, and welcome to Peak Performance Secrets. Excited to connect with you here today as we talk about a topic that I'm really excited about, and it's about potential. Potential. If it's your very first time to join me, welcome. Why does this session come live every day at 1 p.m.? And today we are on episode 47. Why do we show up? It's so that I can serve you to ignite the awareness, the wisdom, the ahas that are required for you to create more, whatever more represents, whether in your personal life or in your business, more impact, more income, more clarity, more awareness, more ahas, whatever more represents for you. I am in service of you creating more. I've been talking about potential, and in this today's episode, I want to talk to you about the source of your potential, the source of your unlimited potential. That's what we're going to be talking about for the next few minutes for those of you who are joining us. But I'm going to get started by asking a question. What comes to your mind when you hear the word potential? What comes to your mind when you hear that word potential? Potential. I don't know about you, but for me, it inspires some hope that there is a possibility, that there is some energy somewhere to shift scenarios and situations from what they are right now to what they could be. That's kind of what I hear when I hear the word potential. And people talk about potential business, potential impact, potential, relationships, potential profitability, potential in the market, potential in a business. But where exactly does potential come from? What is the source of potential? Let's first begin by defining this word potential. And potential refers to the possibility. There is that word again. It refers to the possibility for something to happen. The possibility or the capacity for something to happen, for something to develop, or to achieve a particular state or outcome in the future. In other words, potential speaks about the resources that are available for an outcome to be realized. Potential speaks about, the reserves. Potential speaks about the ability. Potential speaks about what could be. Potential is a good thing. But I did a video in 2021 during my Reinvention Made Simple dailies, and I shared this. I hate the word potential. That hasn't changed, by the way. I still don't like that word. And I shared why I don't like that word, because have you ever heard people say, wow, he's got great potential, but he's broke. He's got great potential, but he's struggling. Oh, look at that artist. They've got so much potential. If potential is such a good thing, if potential is something that we desire to have, if potential is something that we want to be a word that is put together in the same sentence with who we are, then why doesn't that potential always result in the kind of promise that it has for us? You see, potential has a promise for more, potential for better. Potential has the power. But we need to understand this thing called potential. And I have a whole series this week, so follow me as I talk about potential. Yesterday, I talked about the silent voice of more as what potential really is. And today I just want to talk about what is the source of this unlimited potential. How do we recognize that? How do we recognize that we are being invited to be more, to do more, and to have more? Follow me on this idea, because I think it's really going to connect with what we're trying to speak to. Have you ever, at a point in your life, experienced discontentment? And yet when you looked at your circumstances and conditions, it appears that you have everything you need. You probably have the latest phone. And as soon as you have the latest phone, when you heard that there's an announcement for a new phone, you want that one. The car that you drive is whatever version, and there's a new one coming up. You want that one. How many pairs of shoes do you have in your closet? How many pairs of dresses, jackets, shirts? How many do you have? I mean, how many do you need to wear at any given time? I mean, you can only wear one shirt. Wear two of them and it just starts feeling so funny. How many jackets can you wear? How many shoes can you wear at a given time? But what is it? What is this nature that we have as human beings where we are seeking more and we are desiring more and we want the next and the next and the next and the next? Is it just mere discontentment? Is it greed? Can we just summarize it that the people who want more are just greedy? Why is it that the guy who becomes a millionaire doesn't go away and, lock themselves on the other side of the corner of the world and never come back here? Why do they need to come and just order their supplies and just run their card? Why does that guy who has 100 acres want 1,000 acres? Why is it that the guy who has one business in one town wants to open a second one in the next town and the next town, and they're thinking about conquering the country and then conquering the continent and then conquering the world? Why didn't brands like KFC restrict themselves to the US? Why do they come to our townships? Have you ever asked yourself those questions? And when you did, what answer did you come up with? You see, I'm talking about the source of potential here. And I want you to join me in stepping into this level of awareness that it's not just discontentment. It's not just pure greed. Rather, that there is an inner drive and desire to manifest more of what we are capable of. In the same way that you take a lawnmower and you cut grass, what happens? It grows again. I mean, grass, aren't you crazy? I just cut you the other day. You should not grow. Get the message. It's probably the conversation I have about my hair all the time. I'm like, I cut you every week. Hello? Get the message. I don't want you to grow. If it was up to me, I'd be like, stay there. Don't grow. Like my forehead, just remain like that. For most of the time, I like a clean shave. But we cut branches and they grow. We cut grass and it grows. Our shoes are not the limiting factor to our toes and our feet growing. And so there is an innate ability, there is an innate capacity to continue to expand, to continue to create, to continue to be more, do more, and have more. And that is in God's nature. I heard this speaker just the other day who said a lot of the times we ask this question: what part of me is made in God's image? What does it mean? What is it about me? What is it about me? Listen to the question. What is it about me that is made in God's image? And the speaker said, maybe we need to stop asking that question. Because when we look at ourselves, maybe we don't see so much. But rather, the speaker encouraged to ask the question, what is it about God? What is it about God's image that I can see in me? And when we look at him, we can read a couple of things. We can read his unlimited nature. We can read into his unlimited resources. We've got this idea that we know, although we cannot describe it, that he doesn't have an end. There is no way to conceptualize his ending. You cannot contain him. You cannot say this is where he begins and this is where God ends, and therefore I figured this whole story out, like done and dusted. No. And in the same way that he is like that, we are also like that. And the unlimited nature of our potential is coming from source. And source is God. That's my persuasion. Let me show you something that I absolutely believe. when you look at us as men, we've been gifted in several ways. Okay, so the first thing is we've been gifted with a body. Okay, we've been gifted with a body. We live and move in a physical environment. What you can see right now and touch, my hands, you can see me. I have a body. Okay, I have a body. And I've also been gifted with an intellect, a mind. Okay, I've also been gifted with an intellect, a mind. And the core of who I am, my identity, first existed with me as a spirit. I'm going to bring this on another page because I just want us to connect these ideas well. Let me bring a black page here. I really want us to get this idea. So again, back to this idea that we are a spirit, okay? We've been gifted with an intellect, and we live and move in a physical body. That's our nature. And this is God's nature, tripartite, okay? Tripartite. It means 3 in 1, okay? Means 3 in 1. That's a teaching for another day. And so when we look at potential, that power, possibility that is unlimited, it has to be coming from some source. It has to come from somewhere. When you talk about your body and you talk about its physical potential, how many kilometers you can run, how many meters you can swim, how long you can hold your breath, the kind of weight that you can lift with your muscles. There is a potential that can be developed. There's a potential that can be developed. How high you can jump. There's a potential that can be developed in your physical system. Now, when you come to the intellect as well, there is a potential for possibilities. Your thinking capacity, that equally can be developed. Now, the way I look at it, when you come to spirit, where source exists, all right, all capacities come from here. And so when we're talking about source, we're not talking about potential. When we're referring to God, we're not talking about potential. We're not saying, have you ever heard people say God has a lot of potential? That sounds off. He does not have potential. He is the unlimited possibilities. And so because we're creatures that are created in His image and in His likeness, we are tapping from source, which is unlimited. And what comes into our conscious awareness, let me get another color here. What comes into our conscious awareness, I'm going to get a yellow. Yeah. What comes into our conscious awareness, all right, is our resourced state. We become aware of what we can do. We become aware of what we can have. We become aware of the gifts and the talents and the abilities and the gifts. And those in and of themselves come packaged with unlimited possibilities. Why? Because they're coming from an unlimited source where the supply for those things does not have an end. Are you following me? This is definitely not milk. This is bones. And your ability to chew this and understand this is going to shift your awareness in a significant way so that you begin to look at what your mind can conceive as coming from an unlimited source. And the only limitation to the capacity can only come from you. You didn't hear that. The only limitation to your capacity, to your resources, to your resourced state can only come from you. Because source cannot conceptualize limitation. Source is unlimited. God is unlimited. And He's pouring into us as His object of creation. He's pouring into us. The things of God are obvious for us to see. Just look at nature. Just look at nature and see the unlimited posture that nature takes. Nature doesn't operate from a place of limitation. They operate from this fullness. That is the fullness of God. So back to this idea here. So quick recap for you who's just joining. We've been gifted with an intellect. We move in a physical body, but we are a spirit. And spirit here is God has plugged us into himself as the source and supplies to us through our intellect potential resources to do whatever it is that we desire. And that is why we need to tap into this idea of purpose. Purpose. Purpose is the reason for doing something. Purpose is the intention. Purpose is the awareness of a desired outcome. Purpose is why. And when you have clarity of that, it's very easy for you as an individual to then connect potential, which are the resources. It's very easy for you to connect potential, which are the resources, to purpose. What did James Allen say in the book As a Man Thinketh? He says, until thought is linked with purpose, there is no meaningful accomplishment. What is he saying? We may have many thoughts. We may have many ideas. But until those thoughts, those ideas that are being conceived in our intellect are linked with purpose, there is no meaningful accomplishment. In other words, potential cannot be called forward where intention has not been introduced. Potential cannot be called forward where intention has not been introduced. And so when we are operating at our highest capacities as human beings, one of the things that we need to realize is we need to ask the question, what are the possibilities? What is possible? And after we really get to the point where we can answer what is possible and understanding that this speaks a lot about our potential, then we need to ask the question, so for what reason do I want to do this? And that is purpose. That is purpose. For what reason do I want to do this? That is purpose. My mentor Paul mentioned this to me, and I want to land with this statement that the spirit that we are, that's connected to God, who is a spirit, we're created in his image, in his unlimited nature and capacity. That part of us that is spirit, it seeks fuller expression and fuller expansion. Fuller expression and fuller expansion. And that is why the millionaire is not greedy because he wants another million. The millionaire wants to express that part of them that is spirit. The guy who owns 10 cars and buys 11 cars, he's not greedy. If that's a way to express his capacity, he's going to do more of that. I mean, you say, why don't the billionaires just step aside and stop making that one extra shilling? Because we're created and we're built in God's image. And that part of God's image is spirit. And that spirit seeks fuller expression and fuller expansion of our capacities to create, of our capacities to fulfill our potential's intention, which is what we're defining as purpose. My question for you as we land in today's session is, what are you becoming aware of as things that you could do, as things that you could have? What are you becoming aware of? What are you noticing? And how can you invite that voice of potential and work with it and tune in through the mental faculty of imagination to expand the possibilities and see what could be? But also with the faculty of intuition, receive a next step. This is what you're going to do next. Do this next. And that could come to you as a suggestion to call Benjamin. Join the Peak Performance Mentorship. Hey, call that mentor. Hey, call that friend from high school. Hey, call that guy. Hey, call that cousin. Hey, call. Hey, reach out to. Hey, go to that meeting. Hey, attend that course. Whatever that may be, that next step is your spirit beating and seeking fuller expression and expansion of your capacity and your potential and your resource state to be more, to do more, to have more. Because it is in that God is glorified. It is God's, gift to man to equip him with all the potential resources and abilities and capacities. That is his gift to man. He doesn't need that stuff. It doesn't make him who he is. It's actually he, by giving it to us, makes us who we are. His. And our gift back to him is to live out that potential to its fullest. And that is my invitation to you. Thank you so much for joining today. I'd like to hear from you in the comments. What is the one thing that really stood out for you? What resonated for you? I'd love to hear from you, and let's engage in the conversation as we draw towards the end of this week, which is going to be the season finale. Today is episode 47. Yes, 48, 49, 50. 47 is today. And Friday, the 20th of October, is when we'll be wrapping up this season finale. And we'll be coming back in season 4 with a completely different thing, just to conceptualize something new, something different, to serve you in your growth and development journey, to create what you know is possible for you, the potential that God has placed within you. Thank you for tuning in. Blessings, be well, and bye for now.